Welcome back to Squawk. Our next guest is an iconic entrepreneur and venture capitalist, and now he's out with a new book that draws on the wisdom of titans of business. I want to welcome Reid Hoffman to the program this morning, LinkedIn's co-founder, now Greylock partner, of course, and host of the podcast Masters of Scale. His new book is out today. I have it in my hand. Masters of Scale, Surprising Truths from the World's Most Successful Entrepreneurs. Reid, good morning to you. It's nice to see you. You've interviewed hundreds of business leaders. We can name a bunch. Arianna Huffington, Mark Cuban, Bill Gates, getting their war stories and their wisdom. I know it's probably like your children, and maybe you can't say which you like the best, but was there one, before we even get into it, that you appreciated more than any other?
Well, all of them come with their different surprises, and you're exactly right on the children's stuff. But there are ones, like, for example, that I was completely surprised with, like Franklin Leonard, the founder of the Blacklist in Hollywood, and bringing systems thinking to Hollywood content, where we usually have systems thinking within technology in Silicon Valley, or Tyra Banks, how entrepreneurial she was, even in her supermodel career. Like, and these principles of entrepreneurship apply in all these other places. And so it's a wide range, but there's surprises and delights in different directions.
So, Reid, I consider you the master of scale, blitz scaling, that is. What was the great surprise for you? Meaning, was there something you learned from one of these entrepreneurs where you said, you know what, I had not thought about that at all?
Well, there are always a bunch of things that I've learned. Probably not having thought about it all, given investing and Facebook and Airbnb and being part of the team at PayPal and co-founding LinkedIn. So there's been a lot of times around this. But I would say that you're always surprised that sometimes the lesson goes to 11, like the lesson of speed and entrepreneurship and speed to scale being what creates these global technology platforms. And so, for example, with Zuckerberg, when he moved from move fast and break things to move fast with stable infrastructure, most of the world went, oh, now he's learning. And he was like, no, this is still a lesson in speed. And so that kind of thing where you say, well, actually, in fact, the lesson is important all the way to 11 out of 10 is actually perhaps the places where I've been most like, yeah, that's even more true than we thought.
So I know speed is a big theme for you. Is there anyone who you think has actually done it, but done it more slowly but still successfully?
Well, the interesting thing about speed is it's when the speed. It's like when you blitz scale. So, for example, Airbnb a long time was like this and then took off. Roblox a long time like this and then took off. And then it kind of looks like an overnight sensation that's suddenly moving very, very fast. And so it doesn't mean that you're moving that visibly fast, number of users, business model, et cetera, every single day. Sometimes you're prepping the platform. Sometimes you're getting the network set up. LinkedIn itself, many years where people thought, hey, it's this little thing that it's like a social network, but for business, not really understanding what but for business was. And so, those kinds of things that you see in the speed.
But so here's the complicated part, Reid. There's some entrepreneurs who sit around and they say, I can do it one of two ways. I can either just go for scale as quickly as humanly possible, try to get scale. And then there's other, and then I'll build out the rest of the infrastructure once I get there. I'll deal with the regulate. I'll deal with all that after the fact. And then there's others who say I need to, as you said, lay the groundwork to get the scale later. Which really is the right way, or is it can't be generalized?
It can't fully be generalized. There's principles. So, for example, in PayPal, where we're going, look, we need to get the network to a critical mass such that like regulators would appreciate us and what our positive role in the banking system would be. You need to do that first. In something like Joby, what you're doing is saying, no, you need to get the certification and you need to have the complete understanding and certification of safety first before you even have one person going into it. So it depends on what the issue is and what the possible harms are.